Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about developing a legal search application from scratch using Milvus, DSPy, and other tools such as Olama uh, i- for LLM inference, and also Streamlit for the UI. So let's start with problem. Me and my friend Michelle just participated in this LLM Law hackathon by Stanford, and we also we also asked some of our friends who are working in law industry and which problem should we work on, and we saw that a lot of teams were working on the same problem, building a semantic search vector search application for legal documents. And also we were working on the same problem. We were trying to build uh, elastic search hybrid search integration on Court Listener, but we failed because it's so hard, and we get back to the Milvus since we know Milvus very well and other tools such as DSPy and uh, Streamlit. And then also the problem is like most of the legal document searching applications are keyword based, and it's not it's not capturing semantics from text when you're searching over the documents. And that's why we said, why not building a vector search application around this topic. And also, as you know, legal practitioners need really vector search, because when you look at the court listener GitHub issues, one of three, I guess three of them is about vector search and hybrid search, how to implement hybrid search into Elasticsearch into their system. And in here, like a more effective approach is definitely locating relevant information with vector search. So our solution is like developing a vector search application. One of the best vector search engine is Milvus, and using large language models offer a really promising alternative to keyword search, uh, and also faster search without the exact keywords. This is really important because most of the websites are working with exact keywords, but in this application we are focusing on capturing the semantics from text and searching over the semantics. And also we use DSPy and LLM to create TLDR, I mean, too long didn't read summarizations based on the document, based on the legal document. So our application is look like this. So when you search data privacy, there is TLDR, summarization of the document, and then there's document itself. There are a lot of commas, etc., because of the uh, because of the data ingestion of documents. It was a little bit hard to clean this document data set. And also you can see the source. We are going to implement linking to directly to the document in the court listener website. And yeah, for the data modeling, we just scrape court listener data set 2K opinions, and we just upload these data into the Milvus. And also it, court listener is part of law uh, free law uh, free law project, sorry, free law project. And you can scrape their data most of the time freely via API. They have a lot of APIs. And for the modeling part, I just used Llama 3 8 billion model with Olama local inference. And also I used DSPy signature to use as a LLM orchestrator. So our project stack is look like this. So for example, when you search copyright infringement, you are just querying to the vector DB Milvus instance, and then you are getting documents. Normally you can show the documents like 5 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them, but in this application I just use one because it looks clean, and it's a this project is most likely POC project. It's not like a real application. And also this document get back to the user, and also goes to the DSPy and Ollama 3 8 billion model to create TLDR summarizations. So for the demo part, I can show you some of the code. It's also open source. You can look at the GitHub repository. This is our application. So these are the imports, and it's really easy to use DSPy. You are just instantiating the Ollama local model, and then you are just creating the settings, putting these configurations in here, and then creating summarizer via DSPy signature. So this is, you can create your input fields, you can put more than one, and then there are output fields. You should put descriptions in here to work it better. And then this is more like instantiating the summarizer, and then this part is most likely is Streamlit Milvus instance. And then in here we are just putting into better way. So in here you can see it. So this is our project, like Streamlit application UI. So we can search copyright infringement. Normally it was fast because the first thing to retrieve is the document, but I just put TLDR summarization up here. That's why it needs to wait Llama 3 8 billion model to create this summarization, and then retrieve this document and then the source. Yeah. So for the copyright infringement, this is the summary based on Llama 3 and DSPy. Summary is here. The court affirmed the judgment in favor of Spotify USA, yada yada yada. And this is our document. And then these are like which sequence number, and this is the ID of the document. And also here are, I just upload these data sets into the GitHub, so you can download and you can build any kind of applications around these legal documents. And before this stuff, you need to install Milvus, and you just need to standalone embed sh bash script to run Milvus instance on your local machine via Docker. And then in vector DB, this is the cleaning the text. It's really bad, but in the documents there are a lot of blanks like this, like this. That's why I just changed with the comma. Otherwise, just two words are just mixing. That's why I put comma. And also in here, you are just creating Milvus vector DB from documents. And also there were some problems with the vector size, and that's why I just create a simple filter to 12K. I just got all the documents under 12K length and just uploaded to the Milvus. And also I used text embedding 3 large from OpenAI. So this is the project. Also, like we can antitrust. We can search other stuff. This is a really simple project, but it can scale to more documents than one, of course.
While we're waiting for the prompt to return, there is a question, so it stays in context, is how do you do a legal case summary when you're dealing with multimodal data? So here I would imagine that the person asking the question is thinking perhaps in a criminal case, there may be audio, there may be video, there may be images, and then obviously there will be legal documents and text. What are your thoughts on being able to create a legal case summary when you're dealing with that type of data?
Yeah, so for example, if the data is video, you can take some screenshots over the time, like 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, you can take screenshots and you can get the descriptions of these screenshots from one of the vision models. And also you can transcribe the voice and audio, and then you can just mix these two documents into one of the vector DB, which is really easy. Like there are a lot of examples of multimodal RAG, or like multimodal vector DB, creating multimodal vector DB instances from Milvus, from like VV8, other vector DB projects. So it's really possible, and you just need to get your hands dirty with different type of data sets. And it's a little bit hard, but not it's not impossible. So for the antitrust, I think that this is our summary, because sometimes it just prints summary, sometimes it's not. And also, for example, when you search antitrust, as you can see in this document, there is no antitrust word. So it just search semantics. So it captures semantics and then finds the best similar uh, similar document based on the query. And also I want to show you the project GitHub repository. So as I said, you should install Milvus standalone, and you should install Olama Llama 3 language model because of these summarizations. And then you should just initialize this vector DB with your legal documents. The these are some kind of tutorial to use on your machine. So, and also like we tried really hard to implement Elasticsearch, but in one day, it like this hackathon project was 1 day hackathon project. And since it's really hard to uh, integrate Elasticsearch, hybrid search in 1 day, that we come up with this project, like POC level project. And in the future, like we have some kind of connections with Court Listener, and in the future we are just gonna try to implement Elasticsearch, hybrid search to Court Listener website, which is really good website. You can see in here. So antitrust, yeah, like there are 44,000 opinions, and it's really fast since they are using Elasticsearch. And probably a lot of attorneys are using this website, Court Listener. And also, we were just thinking about maybe based on some legal documents, people or like user want to ask questions over these specific documents, or maybe multilingual support, like different languages. I cannot say multilingual support, but more like this project for different languages, like different, probably Milvus multi-tenancy would work for different languages. And thank you for listening to me. And here are you how you can reach out to me. And also, I'm just gonna put this link in the chat. Yes, somebody asked the GitHub link.
All right, so the link is there. We'll also include it in the follow-up. So I'm going to merge two of these questions together because I think they're related. What about the case where you want to use unstructured data, so whatever that may look like, with more structured data. So in this example that's been given, financial data. So it's a more rows and columns, more tabular type of data. Can Milvus, or are there other databases that can handle both to support these kinds of use cases? So I've kind of merged two questions into one.
So as far as I know, there is the project unstructured, and also there is Llama Index PDF parser. So these PDF parser are just scraping the list, like tables, like other unstructured data set inside the uh, unstructured data inside the PDFs. Probably one can use this type of tool, or like unstructured project, unstructured project. Yeah, unstructured IO. And like this is type of project that you can get all your unstructured data into rack ready, or like more like structured way to mix them, and then you can create whatever type of rack model, or maybe multi-agent system you can build.
And there is one final question, which I'll summarize, which is that if you ask a model for, let's just say, a child's birth certificate, could a chat possibly retrieve that legal document? I'm going to go out on a hunch here that if there is no access to the actual document, say, for example, it's a document that requires legal paperwork, a fee, or is simply not accessible, then asking the chat for that document will not actually produce it. I think, as you demonstrated, you have to have access to the actual, in this case, opinions in order to generate summaries and other insights about said opinions. So I think the answer to this question is that it boils down to, if you don't have access to the data, it doesn't matter how you ask, what prompt you put into it, it will not be able to retrieve said document.
Yeah, definitely. And I use this court listener data set and scrape this court listener website. So I'm not sure about if there are some kind of birth certificates in this court listener project inside their database, but I know that they have a lot of data, like financial disclosures, oral arguments, like, and also opinions, that there are a lot of type of legal documents in this database. And also, like, if it's not possible to get access to some kind of legal documents, probably you can't get access via court listener, since they are like more like free law project, like open source project. And yeah.